welcome you all in the next lecture of quantum mechanics. So in previous lecture we have learnt about Born statistical interpretation, and also we have seen that whether the function is acceptable for the wave function or not. So what Born statistical interpretation says that basically tells you the probability density of finding a particle in the given region in a space. So how can we find the probability density? So let's say if P is the probability density, and that can be calculated as magnitude of integral minus infinity to infinity and modulus of psi xt square dx, and that can be also written as that minus infinity to infinity, and we can do the complex conjugate of this wave function psi star and psi dx, and once you do this calculation you will get the probability density. So basically what you see here, so let's say if we plot the probability mod of probability density on y-axis, let's say mod of y square on y-axis and this on x-axis, and if you are getting this kind of curve, and if I want to find out the probability density of particle between the region x equals to a and x equals to b, and basically what we do here, so we calculate the area under the curve, this area, and this area basically give you, if we calculate this area will give you that from integral a to b mod of psi square dx, right? And here this area basically tells you that the finding of probability of particle between the region a and b. And then we have also looked at whether the wave function is acceptable for the quantum mechanical wave function or not, and we have seen that the wave function should be continuous in that particular domain. Wave function should be differentiable, and also the first order derivative and second derivative of the wave function should be continuous and derivable in that particular region, right, in which we are talking about. So all these things we are saying. So today in this lecture we are going to understand the derivation of Schrodinger equation. That is the very important definition. That is very important equation, and that has been developed in 1926. This year, 2026, we are actually celebrating the 100th year of the historical equation that has been developed in 1926 by Schrodinger. So before derivation, I will talk about some historical evolution of this equation. So in late 1925, Schrodinger was giving a talk on de Broglie hypothesis. So what de Broglie hypothesis tells us basically, so de Broglie hypothesis tells us that if a particle is in motion, then there is a wave associated with it, right? So and the wavelength of that wave is in a relationship with the momentum. So if we see the de Broglie hypothesis, so what de Broglie hypothesis tells that lambda will be equals to x divided by t, where t is the momentum and lambda is the wavelength of the wave, right? So this is called as the de Broglie hypothesis. So when Schrodinger was giving a talk on this hypothesis, so one of the audience asked the question, if a moving particle is having a wave, then there should be a wave equation associated with it, or the wave should correspond to a wave equation, and that is that is very normal thing, yeah. So Schrodinger took it very seriously and he went back to his work, and within a couple of months in early 1926, as I have told you, he published a series of papers while deriving this Schrodinger equation. So here I will write what is Schrodinger equation. So that is equals to I h cut del psi by del t, that is equals to minus h cut square divided by 2m del 2 psi by del x square plus v of psi xt. So this is the Schrodinger equation, and he has derived this equation while publishing the paper. You can see the paper also, that is available on the Google Scholar. So today in this lecture we are going to derive this equation. So this equation corresponds to various parameters. You can see there is a wave equation, there is a wave function, that is psi xt. This is a very important parameter, and there is h cut. So h cut is defined as h divided by 2 pi. Iota is the imaginary number that can be written as -1, and obviously wave function is a function of x and t. So what basically wave function is? So wave function is just a physical quantity sorry, mathematical quantity. It does not contain any physical, parameters like linear momentum, kinetic energy, and position. So in order to calculate these parameters, that is called as the observable in quantum mechanics, we have to perform some operation, right? Like linear momentum operator, kinetic energy operator, position operator, and from there you can calculate this. Okay. So as I told you that this Schrodinger equation is one of the historical equation that has been ever developed in physics, and that equation basically completely changed the world from thinking of classical deterministic physics to quantum probabilistic physics, because in classical mechanics, if you see, we study the Newton's second law of motion, right? In classical physics, so we basically study F equals to ma, right? And that can be also written as m d2r by dt2. And if force is known, then you can calculate the value of r, right? That is the trajectory of the particle, and that is the exact trajectories of the particle. So basically, what you can do, if force is known, then you can, with respect to time, you can find out the position of the particle, and let's say this is the position of the particle. And if exact trajectory is known, then you can calculate the velocity of the particle, right? Or velocity at any time. You can calculate the kinetic energy, or you can calculate the total energy. So this is what we basically calculate in the classical physics, right? But when we talk about the quantum mechanics, in quantum mechanics, you solve this Schrodinger equation, you get the value of psi of x, that is the wave function, and then you apply some kind of operator like linear momentum operator, or kinetic energy operator, or position operator, and once you apply this operator over the wave function, then you can calculate the observables that basically we calculate in the classical physics. So that's why we can say that this equation completely changed the world from classical deterministic physics to the quantum probabilistic physics. Okay, now as we have seen that in classical physics we study or we calculate the exact quantities, right? In quantum mechanics, it basically gives you the probability of the finding of a particle in the given region in the space, right? Okay, so as I told you that if a moving particle is there, then that basically corresponds to a wave equation. And in physics, we see that if a standing wave is there, then we can write wave equation is like del 2y by del x square, that is 1 upon v square del 2y by del t2. So these equations can be either equation of light, or sound wave equation, water wave equation. This can be any wave. And if we write the solution